The National Transportation Safety Board, the NTSB, which is a federal agency, is pushing for the lowering of the legal limit of intoxication while driving from 0.08 to 0.05. The NTSB is arguing that by lowering the blood alcohol content (BAC) limit, less drunk driving fatalities will occur. Although there is some evidence to suggest this action may save lives, critics point to other measures that could be taken that would have a greater impact on reducing fatalities than lowering the BAC legal limit. Their position is that the 0.08 limit has been researched and has been established as the point at which operating a vehicle becomes hazardous. Good morning, my name is Craig Simpson, and my reading is on the article entitled "Push to Lower the Legal Limit of Intoxication to 0.05 Stirs Debate" by Ted Gregory of the Chicago Tribune. In this article, Ted Gregory explores the argument for and against lowering the legal limit to 0.05. The NTSB calls impaired driving a national epidemic. They argue that by simply lowering the BAC from 0.08 to 0.05, 500 to 1,000 lives would be saved every year. They point out that there are 10,000 fatalities every year in the U.S. alone from drunk driving. They note that over 100 countries have already lowered the legal limit to 0.05 and have seen dramatic decline in traffic fatalities after doing so. The NTSB states that research has shown that drivers above a 0.05 are at a greater risk of being involved in a crash. But this is just one of several proposals the NTSB has recommended. They also recommend high visibility DUI checkpoints, expanded use of alcohol sensing technology, and ignition interlock devices, also known as blow-and-goes, and more DUI treatment courts. Opponents of lowering the BAC limit to 0.05 argue that the 0.08 level has been researched extensively and is nationally accepted. They say that comparing us to other countries that have lowered the limit to 0.05 is like comparing apples to oranges. They note that these other countries have vastly different driving, mass transit, and our drinking cultures. They also note that some of these countries allow random breath testing, which would not be allowed, obviously, here in the United States. They also point out that organizations like Mothers Against Drunk Driving, MAD, and the Illinois Secretary of State, Jesse White, who is a prominent leader in the fight against drunk driving, they have all remained silent on this matter. Critics also cite that police would have difficulty enforcing a 0.05 intoxication limit. They argue that mandatory interlock devices for DUI offenders would be a better deterrent than lowering the BAC to 0.05. Ted Gregory, the author of this article, is informing the reader of the recommendation by the NTSB to lower the BAC from 0.05 to 0.05 from 0.08. He shows both the arguments for and against such a proposal. I disagree with the NTSB's recommendation. The current level of 0.08 is backed by 50 years of research, and the fact that these anti-drunk driving groups have all remained silent speaks volumes. And I can't imagine how a police officer would enforce a limit of 0.05. From my own experience, the lowering of the limit would definitely impact me on how much alcohol I would intake at dinner or a night out. For example, I'm going to use Crown Royal, which is 80 proof, which is 40% alcohol, just to illustrate the difference. Under the current limit, I could have 1, 2, shots in an hour and still be allowed to drive. If it was to go to .05, I could have one and approximately a half to remain within the legal limit. That's just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. I also recommend, if you do go out and like to have a drink or two, that if you purchase a BAC analyzer, just for your own peace of mind, so you know if you're within the legal limit. They're inexpensive to buy, and you can get them on Amazon or eBay. But like with anything else, you get what you pay for. So do your research and get one of some quality. Ted Gregory used a couple of figurative language metaphors in his article that I want to mention. First, the term epidemic, which refers to a widespread severe problem. Secondly, he used the term apples to oranges to illustrate comparing different things. And finally, the term domino effect to describe how one event can lead to multiple other events. One of the things interesting about this article is that the author, Ted Gregory, never lets you know how he feels about the topic. He simply states both cases with no indication which way he is leaning. I am assuming that he is waiting for more information before he makes a decision. 2 points in this article that really stood out to me was that 1, drowsiness can impair driving performance as much as, if not more than, alcohol. And 2, talking on the phone while driving is like driving with a blood alcohol content of .08. In conclusion, I think this article presents both sides effectively and lets the reader decide for himself. We all view drinking and driving with some sort of bias based on our experience and preferences. For some, any drinking and then driving is inappropriate, whereas for others, they don't see the harm in drinking a small amount and then driving if you are doing it responsibly. Ted Gregory simply presents both sides of the argument without giving his opinion or feelings on the matter. Thank you.